Valentine's Day. It is a good reason to do a collaboration. So this collaboration is between me and Denny from Wizardry Workshop. We have done collaborations before, and I will leave them all in the description box down below if you are interested in looking them up. So Denny came up with the idea to make a book called Desiderium Obscura, which means dark desire. This is supposed to be a potions book for love spells, or love spells for the brokenhearted. And I thought that my version could be one that would be found in perhaps Borgin Burkes. We didn't have any further instructions or rules to go by, just that it needed to be a book with this title. So here we are. I took a dummy book off my shelf that I bought once at a thrift store. It is a book. It looks like a book. It does not have anything inside it. So basically it is a journal with very tight pages. So it's mainly meant for writing. And then from an old box that I had, I am making a cover that goes around it. Here we have all the pieces of cardboard that I'm going to be using to create that cover, and I'm going to attach them together with a piece of fabric. And I usually use just plain cotton, a sheet. In this case, it is an old sheet that I coffee stained. I do this by hanging it outside and then just spraying it or dunking it in coffee and letting it dry. I'm cutting little slits in the fabric and I'm just going to tear these pieces. This way it looks more aged and it has a nice finish to it rather than it being straight. I am attaching these strips of fabric with Fabri-Tac glue. You can also use wood glue or PVA glue, whatever you prefer. It will all work. Just spreading out the glue with my fingers so it's not a big glob that goes through the fabric, because we don't want that. And then attaching the fabric onto the glue. I'm leaving a little gap in between the two pieces so the pieces can move. Make sure they don't go anywhere by using my 1, 2, 3 blocks. I will leave them in the description box below if you want to get your own, and then attaching the pieces of fabric. Now they are all attached and I have a little cover for my book. I wasn't sure how I was going to attach the book inside, but I found these pieces of leather and I thought it would be good to have them go around the book vertically. So I place a piece at the bottom and a piece at the top and attach them with D-rings, and this way the book can stay in place whilst this cover is closed, because otherwise it would just slip out from underneath. I'm using wall filler for this next step, and I wanted to add this filigree element to the book. I decided that this project I didn't really want to use my laser cutter. I did in the end though, but I still had this one lying around and I thought it would be nice to put on the book cover. So this stencil is actually meant to be a cake stencil, but I hadn't used it for anything else and I thought this would be the perfect way to use it. I'm just cleaning up where the book folds so that that doesn't scrape up later. The hinges that you see here, I already had them. They are cut out from chipboard. I find it personally very hard to work with chipboard, and I wanted to do that for these letters as well. However, like I just said, I find it very hard to work with chipboard. It doesn't cut evenly. Sometimes it cuts through and it burns it, and sometimes it doesn't cut through at all. So I decided to go with cardstock. I cut out the letters twice so it has some extra height. And then I'm going to glue them on with wood glue onto the book. I did put the outside of the cutout onto the book so I knew where to place the letters. And this way I also know that they are straight. At this point in time, whilst I'm recording this, it is for me Thursday afternoon. I still have no idea what Danny is making. I know that he made a fully readable book, which is insane. He said he did go a little bit beyond, so please make sure you check out his video in this collaboration. Now it's time to take off the stencil outline and see what we have. I had to touch up a few places with some extra glue, but I'm really happy with how this title came out. I wanted to make sure that these lines were not visible through whatever paint I was going to put on top, so I'm just getting rid of them with some water. It is a water-soluble gel pen, so there we have that. And now we're going into the painting. I decided to go with a black and red color scheme. Red is associated with Valentine's Day, love, hearts, whatever. I have to say that I do not like hearts. I don't know why, I just don't like the shape of them. I had to include a heart in this book, so at the cover there will be a heart. But I do like this color scheme, and I do like how matte this paint dries. And now it's time for gold foiling, or gold leafing as it's also called. I am using wood glue because I did a little test and this was the best glue to use for this. I tried tacky glue as well, but that was not working for me. So I'm just putting this on with a skewer. Later on I just put it on with the glue tip, I believe, but here we have it. And then pressing on that gold leaf. It is nothing special, it's very cheap gold leafing. And then brushing that off with a soft brush until only what is glued down is left over. This was such a messy process. There was gold leafing everywhere, like seriously everywhere. And I think I can still find it in my craft room now. But look at that shine. I love how this looks. It looks vintage, it looks genuine, and I'm going to do the same thing on the corners and on the hinges as well. Now I'm going around with some chalk pastel, some ground up chalk pastel around the edges of the words and the hinges, so it looks a little bit more aged. And then with a brush and some ink, I'm going around the outside of the book to make it look more dark and aged. I do the same thing for the pages, but then with a walnut stain brown, and this makes the pages look aged on the outside. I didn't do that on all the pages on the inside. They are just cream colored, not stark white, but cream. Then I needed to put another layer of this fabric on, just to give it a bit more character, I suppose, before I paint it. I used the same glue again, the Fabri-Tac glue, and then glue on the piece of fabric. So the fabric side is the inside, and with the swirls is the outside of the book cover. Time for more paint. I start with red, as you can see, but I darken it up a little bit because it was a little too bright for what I wanted it to look like. And I also age up the straps because the brown with the red and the black was just not working for me. So I'm going to make them black brown so it looks a little bit more like it's part of what I'm trying to create here. Then again, with the ink, I'm going around all the book edges, and I'm going to gold leaf the outside swirls that are raised up as well. So I tried to attach it with my fingers first, the glue, but that was very difficult to do, so I pick up a brush later to apply the glue and then apply the gold leaf. I thought the inside needed something extra, so I had this stencil that my friend Jen sent me, and it is not really legible text, but I thought it would look interesting on the inside with some black ink. So I'm just going over the letters with this same brush, and then once I reveal what is underneath, you will see that it blends in quite nicely, like so. The inside fly leaves, they are stark white, very different from the other pages in the book, and I thought they needed something. So I found this skull and roses pattern paper, and I think this looks rather nice. I do go over with red and black ink so it blends in again with the whole aesthetic of the book. I think I could have left it black and white, but I think the added red is really what this book is all about. So I'm protecting the other pages underneath with some baking paper and then glue it on with some PVA and water mixture. This is the ink I was talking about. I'm just going over the entire page with the red and then the edges with black. And I'm still not done, because why not add some corset lacing to the outside of the book? I have this cricket big shot, not big shot, cricket big bite crocodile thing. I don't even know what it's called. And I'm putting all these rivets in and then lacing it with this faux leather lace stuff, thread. Yep. And I really like how this ties everything together, literally, because this is going to be the closure. So one point closes at the bottom and the other one at the top, and that is basically going to hold everything together. At the beginning of this video, you probably saw me holding this small heart-shaped green glass bottle. You can see it lying on my desk there as well. I wanted to incorporate that somehow in this book, and I thought it would be nice to cut out a piece where it sits inside the book. So when you open it, it looks like that. I did break the first page, but you know. And then the words on the page, they are actually kind of a vintage medieval instruction on how to use this little glass bottle and the book with the blood of your beloved. And this is it for this Valentine's collaboration. I hope you like what we came up with. I'm off to watch Danny's video now. If you made it this far into the video, make sure to let me know by leaving a heart emoji in the comment section below. All my social media can be found in the description box, and if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos. And of course, become part of the Raven family. Thanks so much for watching, stay safe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Oh, and by the way, this book is for sale in my Ko-fi store. Link in the description. Bye!